Hello and welcome back to X-Plane 11 with me, James. Now in the last video that I posted to YouTube, it was actually a VOD of the stream that I did on Twitch. And it showed me flying from London Centre, London City Airport, that's it. And we were supposed to be flying over to Norwich International. But unfortunately we did have an engine failure on the way over, so I had to then land in Cambridge. Since that video's been up, I did a live stream where I flew the Cessna from Cambridge after quote-unquote getting the engine repaired, and we flew up to Manchester, which is Echo Golf Charlie Charlie, just here. It was quite a long flight. We went through a couple of VORs and things like that. Yeah, the video's still up on Twitch if you want to watch it. I'll link my Twitch down in the description. But today, what we are going to be doing is flying over the Lake District, which is over here, which is an area of the UK which is supposed to be really pretty. I've never had the chance to actually go there myself, unfortunately. That is one of my goals. I did want to fly over to the Isle of Man, which is just what you can see in the centre of the screen right now, but it doesn't look like they've modelled the airport on there. Or I could be looking at the wrong island, I've got no idea. I'm pretty sure that's the Isle of Man. So in my own time, I might take a flight over there and just see if an airport does actually exist. It might just be out of the range of the map or something. But yeah, in today, like I said, we're going to be flying over the Lake District. So to get there, I'm going to be going through the VOR of POL, and then I'm going to be heading up to DCS just here, which I believe is just the same thing, even though it's a DME. I don't know the difference between a DME and a VOR yet. I need to work that out. So yeah, we're going to be flying over there, so that'll take us directly over. We should be able to see quite a lot of this scenery. And then we're going to go ahead and land at Echo Golf November Charlie. I haven't actually checked to see if they've got an ILS. They do indeed have an ILS, which is great. So we'll come in for an ILS landing. And this time, instead of obviously being on stream, we should be able to talk through it a little bit more as I currently don't have an engine failure, or at least I shouldn't. So here we are, let's jump in as per usual. I mean, you guys have seen me do the startup routine so many times now. I'm just grabbing my checklist. Right, so we have mixture in, we have batteries on. I'm looking at the wrong checklist. That'd be quite useful if I had the right one up, wouldn't it? Okie dokie. Fuel pump, beacon, and throttle in a quarter of the way. Good, okay, we have an engine start. Adjust to 1000 RPM. I've mostly memorised all of this checklist, but the whole point of a checklist is the fact that you go through it. Okay, so fuel pump off. I want my avionics on. I need my transponder on standby. And now I need to program the nav. So let's go flight plan. I'm not going to be flying the 2,800 miles to JFK. That was from a different stream that I did. Let's delete that flight plan. And then we need to add a new one. So what were the VOR names? POL. Just get this done for you. POL. Which apparently is Pole Hill. And then we are heading up to DCS. Which incidentally is actually another flight simulator. I have played it a little bit, but I really haven't got into it at all. DCS. Come on. There we go. Oh. Apparently we're tuned to the ground radio frequency. And then we are heading to the ILS at Carlisle Airport. Which is just CO, apparently. We'll just go to the airport itself on the navigation, and then I'll just flick over to the frequency. So it's Echo Golf November Charlie. Echo Golf November Charlie, which is Carlisle. Perfect. So it's a 121 mile round trip, so there's going to be a lot of editing. So if you don't like editing, I'm sorry, but there's no way I'm going to be able to fit that in. Let's get the taxi lights on, let's get the yoke showing, and check the taxiways. Seem to be doing alright. There's this SF50 which I'm going to have to wait to take off. I'm literally just going to come out of my ramp here and taxi down following the SF50. Doesn't look like anything's coming into land, so we're pretty good from that standpoint. Let's release the brakes and begin our taxi. The game seems a little bit quiet to me. I'm not sure how it is on the recording. But anyway, I'm going to taxi. Ooh, if I can make it around this corner. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to taxi, and then I will bring you guys back when we are ready to get on the runway and take off. Right then, so we're just approaching the hold short marker of 05 left. The SF50 is just taking off over in the distance. And so as soon as he's clear of the runway, we will line up and wait. Let's actually do that now. So let's release the parking brake and just proceed onto the runway. I know it's not realistic, but I do like taxiing from outside of the cockpit. I don't know, it just allows you to see a bit more. And this is probably a bit too much speed, to be fair. Now I bet, because I don't think this is actually part of the runway itself, I could probably take off before the runway actually physically starts. But let's apply the parking brake. We then need to do our checks. So up at 1800 RPM. A bit high. There we go. Check the magnetos. We see a drop. And then it returns. See a drop. And it returns. Perfect. Taxi lights off. We need our strobe on, I think. Set the transponder to my altitude. Let's reduce the throttle back down to 1000. Let's get 1 degree of flap, or 10 degrees of flap. 1 notch. I need to set the altimeter. Okay, there we go. That was a bit weird. Had to play around with that a bit. Yeah, I should ask the tower for the altimeter, but I can't be bothered, so we just do that. And I think we are good to go. Everything looks right. I've got plenty of fuel. I need to tune the navigation. That would be useful, wouldn't it? So we're going up to POL. Let's tune nav 1. And then what is the next one? DCS. Here we go. 11520. Perfect, so that's ready for when we hit POL. Right, let's begin our takeoff roll. Release the parking brake, 100% throttle. Then we rotate at 55. Go. Rotating. Positive climb. We're good. Right, good takeoff. Let's have a look around the airfield just quickly. While I can. I'm just trying to hold this a little bit straight. Come on, there we go. Yeah, quite a few planes at Manchester Airport, apparently. Everything's looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to climb to about 2-ish thousand feet to begin with. There are some quite nice hills around here, but I don't think any of them get anywhere near 2,000 feet. And I need to activate my next journey leg. Should probably be able to see the horizon in the background. That would be useful. So let's go POL, and then we are going to go into the menu and activate the leg, and set our CDI unit. I believe. Why has that not worked? Oh, maybe we're not actually close enough to it yet. That would make sense. So we need to fly on a bearing of 017. So if we got ourselves oriented to that. That's 01. I've gone too far. I should get the autopilot to hold this for us. There we go. That's about 017 just there. And let's get the autopilot set up to hold our heading, and I want our vertical speed at... let's go for 1,000 feet per minute, just for now. We can get rid of that notch of flap now. So we can increase our airspeed slightly. And let's reduce that vertical speed, because we cannot climb that quickly, apparently. Right, we're looking good. As soon as the CDI unit actually starts working, it might even be working. I'm not quite sure. We could just be on a good course for it. I will bring you guys back. I'll probably show you some scenery along the way, and some good shots of what I assume would be Manchester. Okay, so we are just approaching POL, Pole Hill as it's called. So there's some lovely scenery on the way over, lovely hills and things. So I'm guessing that actually down there might be a ground station. It is. So that is going to be the broadcast tower. We need to swap our frequency over to the DCS frequency, which is currently 73 miles away. So we might not be able to pick up its VOR, which I don't think we can. So let's go DCS, and then we want to activate that leg, yes. And so we need to fly on a 325 heading. So let's get our heading lock set to that. And we'll slowly make our way over. So that's going to be 32, and then we want 325, which is just there. Let's set heading on the autopilot and let it take over. I was just having a look for that VOR. I couldn't actually find anything. But yeah, there's a nice little town around here. We're starting to see a few more lakes. We're not actually near the Lake District just yet. We've got quite a flight ahead of us to get there in this tiny little Cessna. But yeah, like I said, as per usual, I'm just going to do a few scenery shots along the way until we get into the actual... the main Lake District, and then I'll slow the footage back down again so we can see a bit of the scenery. Now, I'm thinking for these learning to fly episodes, they've sort of divulged away from the learning side of things and more into looking at cool scenery. So I'm tempted to split this X-Plane videos off into two different series, one of learning to fly, where I actually try and develop and learn new skills, and then have a second series running alongside it, which is just looking at cool places. So we fly all the way around the UK, which we've done pretty much most of by now, but then we could head over to Ireland, we could go over to France, see Paris, and then we can just generally go wherever we want in the world. I'd like to keep it so that where I land I then take off from in the next episode, but I don't know. I'll have a bit of a play around. Like I say, I'm tempted to swap the two series apart, basically, to split them apart even. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Yeah, I think it might be a bit better. But yeah, let me know, and I'll bring you guys back. I mean, sorry, just before I go, some of this scenery is gorgeous. So enjoy the view, and I'll see you in the Lake District. Right, well that was some fairly gorgeous scenery coming over there. However, I'm looking ahead and it appears... Well, I think we will still go sort of in between or over the top of these hills. We might be cutting it a bit close. So just within the interest of safety, I'm going to bring my altitude up to about maybe 5,500 just to get over these hills. And then when we get the other side of them, I'll bring myself back down so that we can see the scenery a bit easier. Right, so immediately after recording that last clip, OBS managed to crash. So I've actually moved a bit closer. This is the mountain range that we were looking at. So I managed to lose quite a bit of a beauty shot of this lake, but that's fine. Luckily the rest of the video wasn't corrupt, so this will still be going up. I'm just about ready to level off here. Let's do that now. So we'll just keep our vertical speed at 0. And yeah, we are very much getting into the Lake District now. So as I was saying in the previous clip that was frozen, and I'm hoping that this one isn't, I'm just going to do a few beauty shots. I'm not going to talk over this. I'll probably put some music to it. I don't know. You guys will see in the editing if I've been bothered to or not. And yeah, I will join you back when we get to the VOR, which is DCS, on the other side. so there you have it. That was the Lake District in X-Plane 11. I was absolutely blown away by that scenery. It is gorgeous. They've absolutely nailed it. Obviously, I don't know if it's accurate, because I've never been there, but it just looks stunning. But yeah, we're getting ready to begin our turn just here. 2 miles away. We've come pretty far on the map, and I've actually completely missed this this VOR. Why has that happened? Huh. Maybe because it's a DME, not a VOR? No idea. I'm going to have to work out why that's gone completely wrong. In the meantime, because I don't think we're actually ever going to hit this, I am just going to activate the next leg. Like so. And then we're going to use the heading. So that's going to take us over to the heading of 056. Which will then begin turning us into the airfield. Right, so we got a 20-mile leg. During those 20 miles, like I say, I'm going to have to decrease my altitude. But I've also got to work out why that went wrong. I'll be right back. Okay, I've been playing around with this for a little bit here. I'm not sure why that happened. If anyone knows, please let me know down in the comments, because, yeah, I've got no idea. But anyways, I'm just decreasing my altitude. We're bringing ourselves down in for Carlisle Airport. There is the airstrip just there, if I can stop moving the camera around wildly. There it is. So nice and basic. It is literally just a small runway strip. There is, what, 2 runways? Yeah, one that runs down here and the one that we're aiming for, which is that one just there. Okay, I cannot get the ILS to work at all, which is quite frustrating. I mean, I've been trying to visually fly this in. But yeah, no matter what I try, I cannot get the CDI unit to show the ILS reading. I've got no idea. So anyways, I'm just going to bring this in for a visual landing. I was really hoping to do an ILS landing. But I'm just going to have to use the PAPI lights. I'm going to get 10 degrees of flaps now. And try and reduce my airspeed a little bit. I haven't really been focusing on the approach because I've been trying to get the ILS working. A little bit annoyed that it isn't, to be honest. I will try and work that out before the next video, that's for sure. Let's get 20 degrees of flap. Okay, we're looking good on the visual approach. The idea is to keep the lights 2 white, 2 red. If you've got 3 white, then you're too high. If you've got 3 red, you're too low. I need to expedite my descent a little bit, but I don't want to gain too much airspeed. So you're in a really nice light aircraft. It doesn't really matter about the length of the runway and where I touch down. Well, I would like to actually touch down on the runway. That would be good. And there we go. Alright, let's get my flaps back up. And I'm just going to turn off the runway here to the right. Probably going a bit too quick, but that's not a problem. I don't think there is actually any ramps or anything here. So I am just going to park myself right about here. Chuck the parking brake on, and we are going to shut the engine down. Perfect. Right, that'll do. Let's switch everything off. I should have switched the avionics off first, but no problem. That's going to be it for today. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I'm quite disappointed I couldn't get the ILS working, but we saw some amazing scenery around the Lake District. And yeah, let me know what you think about splitting the series up, because I really think that's going to be a good idea. It'll allow me to explore a lot more, rather than only being able to make an episode when I've learned something new. I guess you could kind of consider this episode as an exploring one, because I haven't learned anything since the last. But anyways, I want to thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave it a like. If you haven't already and you would want to, you can subscribe. And I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.